everyone. Thank you for joining us again this week for another edition of Artist Encounters. We're joined today by artist Linda Lewis. And I have to mention, we're having some kind of odd technical difficulty today, and I am unable to hear anyone on my side right now. So I unfortunately need to restart this once more and try to get the audio back. It's going to take about 2 minutes to restart it. If you just use the same link, you can join back in. And I'm just gonna give it 1 second so that everyone can be up to date with us. We've got a few more people joining, and I wanna make sure everybody has heard this. Unfortunately, dealing with Zoom, there seems to be, this may be an issue with the update that's taken place recently. They updated it this past week to be Zoom like 5.0 or something, and I'm starting to think that this may be related to the update. Let's see. I'm just gonna call in a random person. Marcy, can I just unmute you a second and see if I can hear you?
Sure.
Yeah, I can't hear. You can hear me. Linda, could you speak?
Yes.
Marcy, can you hear Linda?
Hi, Marcy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. This is good.
Okay.
You unmute Dean Stallone, see if they can hear me.
You know what? I'm gonna just, I don't want to make this crazy for everyone. So I am going to let this go like this. I'm going to just let you start, Linda, and talk to everyone. I can hear you through my phone, so I just need to get that onto speakerphone, and we're gonna go in an unconventional way today to try to make up for this odd audio issue on my side here.
Okay.
Let me just make sure everyone
I'll start.
gets in.
Okay. Here we are.
All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Linda, and I will be back momentarily to kind of finish figuring out the audio on my side. Take it away, Linda.
I hope everyone can hear me. If you can't hear me, raise your hand and we'll see what. Oh, Manu can't hear me. Kate.
No.
You can hear, right, Manu?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, good. Happy Memorial Day weekend, everyone. A very strange weekend, but okay. I'm happy to be here and happy to have this lovely opportunity to speak to you. The room we're in right now is my office, my home office, where I have mounted 88 portraits on the walls. I'm just gonna close the door here. I'm seeing all 88 because there isn't room on the screen for them. But trust me, you're seeing about 35 of them.
But this is
I'm better known as an abstract landscape painter, seascape, skyscape, landscape. My work having been displayed in local and greater metro museums, galleries, and shows. But I always work in two separate, very, very, very different and distinct types of work at the same time. It does something good for my brain. I sometimes characterize myself as two separate artists, but this body isn't big enough to separate into two, but maybe it's a split personality, not sure. Anyway, I always work in series. I feel it's an exploration into my innermost psyche. I work until a series is, until I've used up all the information my mind can conjure up on a chosen subject. I call it brain dumping. Today, my focus is family of humans. These guys behind me. I have a secret passion and a love for these guys that you are looking at, whom I will show you in more detail later on. But instead of plunging directly into family of humans, I thought I'd talk a bit about how they came about, their lineage, the history of my obsession with the human face. Let's look at some examples of my other series that have centered on the face. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Oh my God. Oh dear. Okay, now what? I don't know.
I'm still here. I'm still here, Linda.
Okay, can you
Yes.
activate screen sharing?
Yeah. So unfortunately, this I believe is a product of the of the updates that took place this past week. So just hang on. This should have been.
Okay, my presentation can't go on without a great deal of screen sharing. So
I
we're
think if I could speak about, I think we're pretty technically. I think you can sign out if you're the host. You can sign out and leave somebody else to be the host, and then we can do a screen share. You can even make Linda the host, and she can share her screen if she's the host.
Technically, you should be able to share the screen right now as long as you're the only one sharing the screen.
Host disabled participant screen sharing, it says. I'm getting a little white box in the middle.
Okay.
Why did this happen to me?
Here we go. Now you're good.
Okay.
Try it now.
Get rid of the box. Click screen sharing. And no, I'm not getting my, no. I'm not getting my prompt.
Well, right now we're set to all participants can screen share. There you go.
Okay. But I'm not getting new share. No, I'm not getting my
We're seeing your screen though.
my information.
Do you have your window open
Yes.
with the slide presentation on it?
It's all gone. All my what I loaded is gone.
Get the sentinels up from over here. You have to move
This is really
away.
terrible. I'm totally set up to do this. Yeah, this is not working. Okay.
Shares.
We're seeing your screen, so
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. Okay. Moving this aside. Okay. I'll start with my darkest series. It's called Sentinels. I don't know, maybe I don't remember how what prompted me to start working on Sentinels, but I can tell you that when I work on them, I would go into a zone of intensity that kept everything external out of my way. I can work for hours and not know what will turn out. You could say that about all of my work. I don't pre-plan. I start with a basic medium, take it to its conclusion. There are around 40 or 50 sentinels. Here are 7 of them. You can see that there are faces here.
This.
A companion series to Sentinels is Sun Goddess. I had this all loaded up, so I'm going to have to put it in manually again because of the glitch, Gallery North. But here we go. This is a series called Sun Goddess. They are wax and pigment, pen and ink, direct descendants of Sentinels and closely related, only they are the yin to Sentinels yang. They are sunlight and daylight and color. Sentinels are mystery and darkness and forest and underwater and nighttime. Sun goddess, female. Sentinels, male.
Linda, we still can't see the images right now. Or do you have them up?
You're not seeing the images? Yes,
We're
I
not
have.
seeing the images.
Oh gosh, this is, I don't know.
With the screen share, if you have the image opened, it will appear as a window you can select to share. So you have to open it on your desktop
I know
first.
that it was all done and prepared. Every speck of this was prepared correctly. This was not, this is not good. So you didn't see Sentinels or Sun Goddess.
No, we just saw the first group that you showed us, the darker series, the first one.
Okay. You didn't see Sun Goddess.
No.
Okay, let's try again. Sun Goddess. Are you seeing this?
No, no, no.
Okay.
You have to share screen.
Have you hit the share screen button at the bottom? There
Yes,
you go.
I did. I did that.
There you go.
Are we in business?
Yep.
Sun Goddess. Okay. They're the companions, as I said, to Sentinels, and they represent daylight and sunlight and lightness and air and all the good things.
Stop sharing screen. Oh, you paused it.
Okay, stop share. Okay, the next series that I want to show you is Souls.
Minimize.
And you have to hit the share screen again.
Minimize. You have to share the screen. You have to share the screen.
Everything was done.
Sun Goddess?
You don't have that one open right now. There we go.
Share the screen.
Yeah.
Share the Sun Goddess screen. It's not here. You don't.
It's not there. It's not there.
You have to get it up again.
I hate that this makes me look like an idiot when I had everything
You
really.
have to get this up
No,
right here.
I'm done with Sun
Okay.
Goddess.
Okay.
I'm sorry, everyone, for the technical issues here.
No.
No, no, no. No. Stop. No.
Share screen, but it's not
But it's
happening.
not there. Linda, you have to
This is
go.
not my technical.
Click this. Now click this. Now minimize. 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 And then share screen. It's not there.
It's not there.
Okay. X.
Wait, no, it's not there.
X out.
This is not the Linda Lewis method.
Yeah, it's okay, Linda. This is life. Unfortunately, working with virtual world that we're dealing with now. It's unfortunately nothing ever goes as planned with these things.
Minimize.
Okay.
Still
Minimize.
dealing with it.
Minimize.
This is Souls. They're playful and sometimes serious and deep. They change. They are. They have a secret. They seem to have a secret anyway. Maybe they're talking about me and giggling when I'm not looking. I like to think that they have relationships of their very own. I feel that they maybe come to life at night when I'm not around. Kind of like Geppetto's wooden puppet who became a real boy. Souls. There were, remember I said I'd like to work in a series that doesn't end until I'm done with it. And there were probably about 80 souls. The next series is Earthkins. Earthkins have a more serious and a very personal history to me. I'll tell you a little bit about how Earthkins came to be. I have one sibling who was severely challenged, and when I was growing up, my parents would take him to places where he could get therapy of various kinds, where children like him who had similar problems would all be in wheelchairs or on crutches or in their parents' arms. I remember their little faces smiling. Most of them were happy and would be pleased if you would talk to them. I believe that Earthkins was derived from those childhood experiences and memories only many years later.
It's not shared.
Oh.
It's not shared.
Can you guys see this?
No. Yeah.
No, you have to. No, you need to.
They were, it was all up there, but.
Now, when the screen.
Okay.
There we go. We got it. We have it. We can see it.
Okay, this is Earthkins. I'll tell you how Earthkins came about. When I was in a store in Manhattan one day, a while ago, I saw a piece of wood that you could paint on. And I thought, well, I could put something on that little square of wood that actually then became a monster, a real wonderful monster, because it didn't stop until I had made 100 of them. These are close-ups of individual ones. It was a 6-inch piece of wood, approximately 3/4 of an inch thick. The faces are in relief. I'll show you that again. There, you can see that. Made with modeling paste and painted and sealed. This series, I'm very proud and pleased to say, was featured by the National Endowment for the Arts, the NEA, for their 50th anniversary. It was a very great honor. In preparation for the introduction of Family of Humans, I made a list of all the series I have done that have centered on the face, and shocked myself when I realized there were 9 series based on the face. I'm showing you 5 today, 5 series.
Sharing the screen.
Am I sharing? Stop sharing.
Have to unshare.
Stop.
We're not seeing
Stop sharing.
this you're showing.
Okay. Did you see, you saw Earthkins, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I want to concentrate on a discussion of Family of Humans today. That's the focus of the meeting from my standpoint. As I said at the outset, this series has a real hold on me. There are 150 of these guys. If you want to see them all, Are you seeing them? Are you seeing this guy?
I see one right now.
Okay, one, yes. His name is Will. The objective is to expose preconception based on the way a person looks, as they are depicted minus adornments, such as clothing, jewelry, makeup, glasses, extraneous accoutrements. They are without context and looking straight at you, expressionless. It is impossible to discern anything meaningful about them. In a situation where you see someone whom you do not know, perhaps you make an immediate or subliminal judgment about them. Who are they? What do they look like? Where do they come from? You see skin color, shape of face, nose, eyes, but here is the challenge. Why are so many people overlooked, forgotten, marginalized, simply because of their physical appearance? I hope you agree that it's unfair to judge.
We can't see what you're sharing right now.
Can you see this?
I see that one.
Okay, good. I've named all 150 of family of humans merely to keep track of them. Without names, they can get out of hand. They look at you and they ask, who do you think I am? Can you view me with an open mind? Can you see me unpresumptively as a person who is breathing and has feelings, perhaps very similar to yours? This man is Will. I've named them all, as I've said, just to keep track of them. It's been quite a challenge. I really don't want to give them an identity. They look out on the world without embellishment, without identity. Here is Spence. He could be a billionaire, a doctor, a diplomat. He could be illiterate. He could be homeless. He could be a terrorist. He could be anyone. You don't know. Here is Isabel. She could be a United States senator, a famous chef, your next door neighbor, or someone you hired to walk your dog. She could be anyone. You don't know. We don't know who any of these people are. I've spent the last 2 years making them, 4 to 5 hours each. And even I don't know. I have absolutely no idea who they are. Everyone is a complete surprise. I consider myself very fortunate to have spent quite a bit of time lately, because of social distancing and all that's going on, cataloging and photographing these guys. It's been a really huge job, as you might imagine, keeping track of all of them. But it's been great. This is Mimi. Let's talk about the process. I start with a 17 by 14 piece of heavy, smooth drawing paper with a randomly drawn line. It shows very clearly in most of the drawings. They're all on the same paper with the same materials. You can see the line very clearly. It doesn't really connect directly to the face, but it gets my arm and hand going before I enter that unknown space out of which the image will emerge. The line gives me a vague starting point. This is Aliyah. This is Jose. Every face starts with a random stroke, the one I just described, connecting to a spider web of threads. Thousands and thousands of threads. The space between the eyes is where I always begin. The eyes are the beginning. Here is Bobby. The medium is ballpoint pen in 5 colors: black, purple, blue, green, and red. I believe in simplicity of materials. Fancy just doesn't work for me. I like simple. Wood, modeling paste, paint. Paper, pens. Not fancy pens. It's not necessary for me. This is Lloyd. You can see the color when I get close up. If you were to view all 150 in my family, this family, you would notice that some have no obvious gender. Here is Edie, or Eddie, spelled E-D-Y. This person decided on a name. Sounds good to me. Here is AJ. These 2 people named themselves. That happens a lot. Makes it easier for me. I don't justify or explain. Would you say some are decidedly male or female? Maybe. Maybe not. Here is Sammy. Here is Renee. Some have a definite ethnicity. Here's Melody. Here is Sienna. Here is Kenzo. Here are some others. Ali, Elizabeth, Labella, Mac, Marilyn. As I said, the original and ongoing reason for the series is to expose prejudice based on the way a person looks. We witness rampant prejudice within the human family every day in every way based on all sorts of things, especially the face. I did not set out to create a series about prejudice. That was absolutely not a glimmer in my mind, not the slightest. But after I had done about 50 of them, it dawned on me, that's what they wanted. That's what they want it to be about. And so that's what it's about. We're all in this life together, all one human family, one family of humans. And that's my story. Are you with me?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Linda. We have a few questions. Please continue.
Are we all fixed from your end?
No, I'm speaking through my computer. I can't hear anyone else. I can hear you through my phone. So certain amount you have to just be able to roll with the lovely things that technology throws you.
Wait, maybe you should just unmute everyone and let them have a.
It might get a little rough, so I should be able to handle this. Let's give it a try. First, we have a question from Janice, and Janice, you're going to be unmuted now. So
No,
you can ask your question.
I think she answered the question after I asked it, but I had asked whether they were invented people or based on anyone she knows. But is there any extent to which people that you know enter into these faces?
No, yeah, no. Not at all. No one I know. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Yeah, no one I know. No, not ever. Absolutely never. In fact, I would reject that idea. I don't want it to look like anyone I know. Sometimes when they come out, and I really don't know who they're going to look like until the very end, like the last pen stroke. Sometimes I think it's going to be a woman or a man or whatever, and I'm never sure. So I'll see when I'm done. Oh, that looks like a little bit like so-and-so. I wish it didn't.
Okay.
So I guess it's not.
I notice, I'll sneak in another question. I noticed they're not concerned with traditional proportions of beauty.
No, I'm looking at, well, the 88 that I have around me, and unfortunately you cannot see them. They're everywhere here.
Yeah.
There's nobody, not one of them, and I call them nobody because they're everybody to me. There are no traditional beauties here. There is one very lovely woman. I can get her and show her to you. She's the prettiest one, and I don't really want to I mean, this is not illustration. This is not a beauty contest. She's the prettiest one. But no, they're not meant to be. They're meant to be normal people. Look at us. Look at us all. Look at us all. If I were to draw every one of you, which I don't do that, but nobody's perfect. Nobody's beautiful, especially without hair and makeup. Without clothing, without smiling, without emoting. No one is beautiful. If you look at a face, it comes out at you, and it's plain at best.
Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Janice, for the question. I kind of have a follow-up one. Do you usually use any references when you draw, or is this is straight from your mind?
No, never a reference. Never. I struggled with ears. I really struggled with ears. Everybody's ears are so different. Ears are amazing and difficult, and I've struggled with them, but I conquered it by just, I don't know, just pushing forward with it. No reference.
Okay. Our next question is coming from Ned. Ned, you're unmuted.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Ned.
So much. This was just really wonderful. Your search, your approach, the work that you create is just really beautiful. Thank you for presenting it today. I just had a question following up just to ask to what extent your your work is part of a meditative process. The fact that you just start out with any real goal and then end up someplace that sort of comes from within, whether it's the process itself is just sort of meditative for you, where you're sort of searching.
It's incredibly meditative and amazing and wonderful. Yeah, I'm not coming from any place I know, and the best, and I always say this, the very, very best part about it is the surprise. I love the surprise. And even with my my other work, it's always the surprise that's the best. It's a gift. I don't mean I have a gift. I mean, that is a gift to me. It's wonderful that I can do this and then say, wow, look at this. It's so wonderful. I love it. I don't always love it, but most of the times I do. I have the ability, I think it's an ability, I'm not sure, to work on something until I'm happy with it, till I know I'm done. I always know when I'm done.
All right, thank you, Ned, for that question. The next one we have is from Juno. You're on.
Hi. Oh, I thought you were going to read them. I'm happy to read mine though. Hi, Linda. These are phenomenal. I love that you use pen. They're beautiful. I was curious about. I mean, obviously you're using the word prejudice, but you're talking about racism, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, inherently. So, have you? My question was, have you done, I guess, supplemental reading on current, sorry, loud where I am, current issues around racism as you've done this? You obviously had the idea came to you after, I believe you said, about doing about 50 of these. Yeah, and I'm just curious if you have done any other type of study, if you will, around racism.
Nothing formal, but yes. However, you could say I grew up with prejudice, incredible prejudice. I spoke of my only sibling, who never really benefited very much from therapy. And there was incredible prejudice. People thought he looked like maybe he had, snakes coming out of his head. It was, and I was his sister. And sometimes my parents introduced him as Linda's brother. And that's prejudice. I've experienced prejudice personally at a very formative age. So I did my own research. I think that this we're talking about a while back. He's 3.5 years younger than I am. So things have changed. It was certainly before the Americans with Disabilities Act protected, challenged people. And it was before enlightenment of a sort. So, yeah, things have gotten, maybe, I'm not sure, better. Who knows? That is a wonderful question. Thank you, Juno.
Good, thank you for that question. Our next question comes from Marcy.
Hey, Marcy.
You're unmuted.
I don't hear her. I can't hear Marcy.
No? Yeah?
Oh, now I hear you. Yes, great.
Thank you for showing
Marcy.
Such a powerful series. I mean, I'm just so in awe of how the limited use of just paper and pen, I think that says so much about the series. They do feel soulful to me. I feel like they are looking inside of me, especially the close-ups of the eyes. I had a question that was very interesting. you said you do series. So are the feeling to create more, do you know, are there more people coming? Are you coming to an end? Or you don't know until you finish the last one? What's your process on creating?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I will go on with this series. I thought I would until I started cataloging and photographing them and working with them as a project, as a whole. I feel I may go on with them, but I'm not sure. And certainly, if I don't, it will be very difficult. It will be the end of something. It's always difficult at the end of a series. I have many, the 9 series about the face, but I have other series on paper, with paint, large paintings, always a series. When I come to the end of the series, I panic. I think, oh my God, what am I going to do next? How am I going to survive? I have to think about what am I going to do next? This is terrible. And then something comes along and I go into another series. So I'm not sure about this, but I have received some interest in it, and that's a good thing, and maybe that's a wrap, but I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I have a follow-up one to that as well. Have you been making any more while you've been in quarantine, or have you just been solely doing the cataloging?
I've been, well, mostly concentrating. Yes, no, I have not done a new one since I have not done a new one since the quarantine. It has taken up a lot of my time, and happily, did I say I'm incredibly privileged to have had this time to work on this project, to organize it to the extent that they allow me to organize them. They have, I know this, I'm not sure that this comes across as sane or valuable in any way, but they are powerful. They rule me, and I'm happy. I'm okay with them ruling me. Totally okay with it. I wish you could see them. And only 88 are on the walls. The rest are in a stack. Some are lying on my desk behind me. I set up a couple here and there. But it's just an amazing relationship I have with them. I love it.
I know we mentioned a little bit the other day when we were talking about the fact that you also have done landscapes that you're well known for. Do you still work with those at the same time you're doing the series, or have you set that aside just to focus on the faces?
I have painted during the series. Yes, I have painted on my abstract skyscape, landscape, seascape series. They're large. They're in my studio, which is in another space in this house. And they really are totally separate from, although, they're made by me, but they don't interact. They don't. I have tried to, at one point or another, not recently, to integrate them, and whoa, nobody wanted to be integrated. The landscapes wanted to be separate. The faces said, "Don't put us in those landscapes," and that was it.
Our next question comes from Kellen.
Hi, Kellen.
Hello. I just wrote that I'm really impressed with how there's so much expression in the eyes, especially if it's somebody that you don't have any reference to. As you and I, we work Exactly the opposite. I don't like doing portraits without having met the person and spending time with them and working with my own reference and then building on that. But these people are coming out of you. So there's that question, and then there's actually Michael had a question as well.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, how you doing? Have you ever met a person who looks like one of your portraits after you drop through?
No, no, I haven't.
Hmm.
I haven't. My husband thinks that they exist somewhere. He says, "Oh, these people, they're somewhere." But you know, the world is populated by a lot of people, so it's very possible I will never meet anyone who is, you know, looks like the portrait. But no, I haven't.
They're very ghostly looking. And Michael has one more question.
What I realized, I don't know if you realize that as well, is in this age where we do a lot of DNA screening analysis, and sometimes we're actually capable to reconstruct faces from DNA.
Yes.
We're essentially tracing back physiognomy to molecular structure, right?
Right.
Real beings, but you create everything out of, I wouldn't say nowhere is the wrong word, but there is no traceability back to some mechanics of biology. And so that's a great critique on the current times in some way. Have you ever seen that, or is this?
No, I've never seen it. I've never learned it. When I've had, you know, art school, I never wanted to be led or told or manipulated or advised, nor did I consult, nor do I want to do that now. They came to me out of I looked up the word miasma today and I thought, no, that's not the right word.
Oh,
Maybe,
you don't want to use that.
no, that's negative, I know. So maybe the ethos. How about that? Does that work, Kellen? They just evolved. They just developed. I don't know. The eyes, they all have expression, different eye. They're not, I don't think any two of these people are related either to each other. They're all incredibly disparate. But I don't take credit for it. They just develop themselves.
That's very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for that question.
Wait,
Our next comment comes from Mitchell. You're unmuted.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's David?
I'm great. We're great. Thanks.
First question, only one question. How does David feel as far as sharing himself, as far as all these people sharing in the family with you?
He's very supportive. He's really incredibly supportive. He's wonderful. Yes, really.
You said before that you didn't have a gift. As friends, we all know that you do have a gift. I want to give you the highest compliment.
Thank you.
That is, okay, I know you since about 2012 or so. I always look at artists and see how they basically grow, how their range as far as their art progresses or doesn't progress. So here's my compliment to you, because you have 2 pages on Instagram. You have your Linda Lewis with your oils, and you have Friends of Linda. Okay, when I saw that, you had clicked to follow me, I was like, who the hell is this? I had no idea that these were actually by you until I looked further. It is like night and day between your oils and these. So compliments to you. And as far as my own thoughts towards this, especially from today with all of them behind you, or most of them, they look like a lineup. I mean, in a very positive way, they look like a lineup to me. A lot as far as police sketches of people who are Jane Does and all of that. So that's what I personally get out of it, which makes it fascinating.
You know, you mentioned that, and there's a connection, not direct, but yes, in a lineup, nobody smiles. They stand there straight-faced without any, any fancy accoutrements, as I said. And this is kind of like a lineup in a sense, only a good lineup. They're not criminals.
Right.
Although, who knows, maybe one or two of them are. Who knows? We don't know that. We don't know. We don't know who they are. But it is a lineup. You're right.
Great. This was a great talk, even though it started out technically not great.
Yeah, well, that was blowing my mind at the beginning. But
It was terrific. So thank you so much.
thank you. This was fun. I love a deep talk about art. Sometimes discussion of art can be very I don't know, vacuous, is that the right word? But yeah, I'm hoping that this wasn't.
It's talking about art, and I'm not an artist, but an appreciator. It's extremely subjective, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mitch.
All right, thank you for that comment. Our next comment comes from Minu.
Hi, Minu.
Hi,
How are you?
good to see you.
You.
A magnificent body of work. I've been following it on Instagram. What is interesting to me, and it's my personal belief, that everything that we create is really who we are. And all of these faces, I believe, is, comes from the collective unconscious. Somehow you were able to channel humanity's collective unconscious and grab onto the faces or the experiences of these individuals, because you've never met them, but it is inside of you. And even the other works, like all the other works that you showed, had some element of this. Some of them were more emotional. Some of them, had like a darkness or a female or male. In this one, it is much more uniform. It's like you didn't go for any of those expressions. It became much more basic, I guess. And that's why there's so many of them. So you were able to reach into that somehow, which is magical in its own way. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
A word about that, which your comment just brought to mind. Maybe I don't need to make any more. I don't know. Can we take a vote? It's possible that I don't need to make any more. Although maybe I do. I'm not
You
sure.
see how you feel? You
Right.
see how you feel?
Yes.
But you needed to show that to us. You needed to present something, I believe is historical for all humanity, to people who are willing to, and we still have a lot of people here today.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Wonderful. Andrea, I think Andrea had a question.
Yeah, we have a few
we have
more in the lineup.
I'm good.
All right, 1 second, let me pull up. Our next comment came from Nancy, who, sorry, I'm echoing in this thing. It had a question that was similar, so I'm just going to quickly read it, about how much they are related to something that comes from your subconscious.
Hi, Nancy. Yeah, the subconscious, well, it's God. They have to come from there because they're not coming from anywhere else. I don't. They absolutely have to come from my subconscious. I cannot ascribe another source.
And our next comment comes from Dean.
Hi, Dean.
Hi there.
Hi, honey. This is my son. This is my son, Dean.
Linda is my sister. I would you ever separate them? if somebody wanted to buy 1 or 2 or 10, would you ever separate them, or they come as a
Oh,
set?
what an excellent question. I have the ability to produce these, to produce exact prints of these, and I would be happy to sell any number of them, not the original, but a print that would look as good as the original in the original size. This is a great question. It's very hard to make money from art, and it's especially hard to make money from art of this particular type, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think. But if anyone wanted to buy 1 or more or choose a bunch, they certainly are encouraged to do that, and I would be happy to create prints that look exactly like the original. Limited edition prints.
I have a follow-up question to that. Would you ever show them in some way in separate groups, or do you expect that at some point they would be shown all together, all 150?
I don't see separating them. I don't think they would like it. They don't compete with each other. They're incredibly generous spirited with each other. And some are on the door to my office. I have some on the back of the door and some on the front of the door. And the ones on the back of the door don't get seen as much as the ones on the front of the door because I don't close the door that often. But the ones on the back of the door don't complain. And they're as loved and as accomplished, I feel, as all the others. And no, they're wonderful. They're happy with each other. I don't know, what was the beginning of that question? No, I wouldn't separate them. I would love to do a book with, I have the writing. I love to write. I can write their story. I wouldn't, here's another, nobody's asked this question, but maybe somebody's thinking of it. I don't want to write individual stories about them, although I do love to write. At this point, anyway, I can't see picking out one or writing a story about, or a paragraph, or even a sentence about every one of them. I can't see doing that, but I would love to publish a book with these in it, and the objective would be the objective I mentioned in my talk. Preconception of people based on the way they look.
All right, our next and last question comes from Kellen. And
so, yeah, so there's 365 to 366 days in the year. So you still have a lot of work to do, Linda. Get busy.
Oh. My goodness, you mean I have to do one for every day?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no.
That's a good sized book there. There you go.
Don't tell me that. No, don't tell me that. I'm very organized, and I'm very. I try to be disciplined, and I try to keep my brain in some kind of semblance of order. But by the same token, I do not like rules. I didn't like them when I was in school. I don't like traffic rules. I don't like stop signs and traffic lights. My husband will tell you that. I don't like parameters. I can't begin to entertain the thought even of setting a goal in advance. As I told you, I don't do. So no. No, there aren't another 214, 114. I'm not good at math left in my head. No. I can tell you that. I can tell you that there aren't another 150 left in me. That I can definitely tell you. Kate, before you end the meeting, my friend Andrea had a question, and
Yes. Let me find her, and I will.
You have to unmute her. Yeah.
Andrea?
Hi
there.
Hi, pal.
I made it, and you did fabulous. You did fabulous. I know it was challenging for sure in the beginning.
The start was like, pull my hair out.
I know, but you did. You're just so sensational. Truly sensational. My question is, are there personalities to these people?
You know, that's a wonderful question. Yes, they all have personalities, but they are not sharing.
Now, do you feel more akin to certain ones?
Oh, that's like asking you which child. I have two children, two sons. I would never say I love one more than another, but I think I could tell you that some of the ones that I started with in the first, 50, maybe a dozen, have a little special place in my heart, but I won't single them out.
Okay.
And
you say that they don't step on each other's toes.
No, they don't. They don't compete.
They coexist.
Yeah. As I wish we all could.
Exactly.
Oh my God, do I?
Exactly. Absolutely.
I wish we could.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You did wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, we have one last question from Nancy. You're on.
Oh.
Hi, Nancy.
I was wondering if these have really helped you work through the feelings of your brother's disability. Have they really helped you to deal with those feelings, or have they helped you heal those feelings, the sadness that you felt and the way people looked at him? And has this helped you?
Well, okay. I've had a lot of therapy. Not in recent years, but and past the years when I was a child with him, but not in recent years. That helped me. There was a time when I wouldn't even mention that I had a brother. There was a time when I would not talk about even what I spoke about today, and there's a lot more to this than I spoke about today, a great deal more. I have worked it out, and I am okay with it. And it's just like, when something happens to you when you're impressionable, it doesn't ever leave you.
Right.
It's always with you. It's never gone. But you've learned to deal with it.
Has it softened your feelings, the hurt, or all the different things that you've gone through? Has this helped you to, make it slightly smaller in the weight of it?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I see Joe Ortella is shaking his head up and down. Yes. Hey, Joe. Yeah, no, yes and no, I'd have to say. People who've been assaulted women especially. I'm sorry, I speak from the standpoint of a woman. Do they ever get over it? Yeah, get over it. Yeah, go ahead, get over it. No, you don't get over it. You never get over it.
I'm not saying that you would get over it. I'm wondering if it helps to, you to deal with it better.
As I said, yes and no. But I love doing it, and I'm I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the whatever was in me to do this. So that's, part of who you are.
All right, thank you so much for that question, Nancy. We're just about out of time. I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you, Linda, and everyone for being able to to put up with our technical issues this time.
Wonderful talk.
We got through it, and I'm glad everyone was able to hear it. And yes, thank you so much for sharing, Linda. It was really a treat to be able to meet all of your friends and your people that we hadn't had a chance to see before. I just want to remind everyone, if you enjoy free events like this, please consider becoming a member, and you get lots of great discounts at the gallery at different levels. At the basic level, you get a free swag bag that comes with lots of goodies and a discount to some of our classes and programs. There's also an artist membership available that allows you to be added to our artist registry, which will go on our website and help promote your work. You can check out more info about that on gallerynorth.com, .org. Oh my goodness. And next week we will be joined by Kellen, who will be sharing her work and her studio with us. So I hope you'll join us again next week, and we will solve the audio issues before then. All right, thank you again. I hope you all have a great week.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all my friends and people I don't know but hope to meet.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for watching this episode of Gallery North's Virtual Artist Encounters. If you like events like this, please check out our website where you'll find a list of our upcoming programs and events. Please also consider becoming a member of Gallery North. We have a number of different levels and options to select from, with different benefits to fit your interests. Please also like and subscribe to us here on YouTube to get updates about our upcoming and published videos.